I'll be talking about this in a video later. On the side of the road out here in the middle of nowhere, as you can see. I mean, there's a little bit of, there's this entire carcass stripped clean and just discarded off to the side of the road. Yeah. Most of the bones are still here, but there's no bugs on the meat. There wasn't even no meat really left on them. There's no bugs, no ants, no, and here in Cambodia there's a lot of ants. There's barely any flies, like one or two little flies that should be like swarming with flies. And you could see the difference in color because it's been sitting out here all day in the sun. The bones are still from there down to here. There's a lot of wild dogs out here, and you figure the dogs would be over here just mauling on these bones. They're not here. Nothing will touch this. This is exactly like what Linda Mullenhow talks about when she was going to the animal mutilations. Now the thing is it was just like the carcass of the animal was just dropped, boom, from the sky right here, like literally boom right here. Now you would think maybe okay, it's from the side of the road, that maybe somebody dumped it off, but the locals say that this never happens. And even so, where the bones are, they still would have discarded the guts. They just discarded like here's the skin of the animal. If one of the Khmer here in Cambodia would have stole the cow, let's say somebody would have stole the cow from over here in this field, took it home and took off, because there's no blood here, there's no blood, so it ain't like they cleaned the carcass right here, and they would have took it home or took it someplace and they would have cleaned all the meat, surgically cleaned all the meat off of the thing. They wouldn't bring I gotta come out here and tell me they wouldn't bring the bones back to the scene of the crime, right? They wouldn't bring the bones back to where the animal, so it just doesn't even make any sense. It makes absolutely no sense at all. They wouldn't bring it back. But if something would have took the cow right here, cleaned it up there, and then just discarded the shit right here, that makes sense. That's the only way to make sense out of it. It's the only way to make sense out of it. And in fact, there's no bugs. There's like maybe just a few flies down there, but this should be like swarming with flies. There's maybe 3 or 4 little flies down there, but here in Cambodia, something dead like that's going to get a ton of flies, going to get a bunch of ants on it, going to have dogs, you're going to have all kinds of shit over here picking at this, and nothing will touch it. Nothing. Okay, I want to show you something, that the meat has been picked so clean from the bones, like even like right up inside, like all the small little crevices, there's nothing in the crevices, nothing for the meat. Like it's just been completely like surgically removed. If there's somebody who is poaching, another thing is too, if they're poaching, if somebody stole the cow, they wouldn't dump the evidence here, right? Like if another Khmer stole this cow and they took it for the meat, they wouldn't just put the bones here on the side of the road, would they?
Yeah.
What would they do with the bones?
I don't know. Mostly Cambodians take all the bones. Take
Yeah.
the bones to make soup and stuff. Almost take everything except the skin.
Except for the skin, but they take almost all.
They left some ribs.
Yeah, they left the ribs here.
I think that is the hips or the shoulder.
Yeah, that's the pelvic area down there. Yeah, bizarre.
And there's no organs.
Yeah, and there's no organs. Do you guys eat all the organs?
Yeah, they eat the organ, but they left the unnecessary, like the bad part.
So the bad parts they don't eat.
Yeah.
So they would discard the bad parts. And it's not here. And this morning when I came by, it was completely fresh. So yeah, definitely out of the ordinary, very bizarre. Like I said, it's like this thing was just dropped. Like it was like something plucked the cow, and as you can see, the cows are over there in the field. And it's as if something plucked one of those cows up out of that field, took it up into the night sky, took everything, surgically took everything off of the cow, surgically, and kept the skull, and then just dropped it, boom, right here. So like from there, and those cows, they could wander all the way up to right here. So it could have got taken like literally right here, up into the sky, into whatever ship, and then just dropped right here and discarded. And it kept all the organs, it kept every stitch of meat pretty much off of it in the head of the beast, and it dumped the bones and the skin. And the skin, by the way, it has the face of the animal in there, because when I looked at it this morning, I could see the ear from the animal. So very, very bizarre. All right, so yesterday I found that carcass from a cow, one of these cows here in Cambodia, on the side of the road, that was just kind of lifted and dropped. And I just want to show you how close these things get to this fence. So like I said, one of these cows could have wandered up close to this right here, and been picked up straight up into the sky. Because why in the hell would the bones end up right there, like right near where the cow is, right? Why would it completely picked clean of everything and just dropped right here? So you can see the cows, they get that close, they get this close. So the cow literally could have been lifted, because the thing is I've talked to the locals here. They don't know what happened. Nobody would know. Nobody would take a cow. That would obviously be like a stolen cow, because nobody would take their own cow, slaughter it, and bring the bones right back. And this is also a rice field too, so it's not some place that they would dump that stuff like that, and bring the bones literally right back to where the cows hang out near the fence. They just wouldn't do it. They would keep those bones at home. A lot of times they use the bones for stuff, or they have a different way to dispose of it, but they wouldn't bring them right back to the site where the cow typically was. So that cow, I'm definitely convinced, was that's some really weird cow mutilation. So the other thing that was missing was the skull, the head of the cow, and the tail, the feet, and just the bones. Well, I mean, I don't know if the hooves are there, because I didn't really see them. But I'll take you up here and show you. Uh-oh, be careful, buddy. I'll take you up here. Somebody almost wrecked on their bike. I'll take you up here and show you where the carcass is of the animal. So that cow, I've never seen anything like it before. Never in my life have I ever seen a cow mutilation until yesterday here in Cambodia. And you can see here's the carcass here. Obviously something must have been picking at it, because there's parts of it that are missing now. So there it is. There's the cows. No farmer would take their cow, slaughter it, bring the bones back, and dump them right near the fence. No poacher would take the cow, slaughter it, and bring the bones and dump them back where they stole the cow. Nobody would do that. It just doesn't even make any sense. Now that broken glass down there, I don't think that's from anything to do with that. I think that's just your typical trash, that the typical just regular trash that's here. So obviously that cow was picked up on the other side of that fence, right at the edge of that fence, was lifted straight up into a ship. And I mean, people can say whatever they want. The thing is I'm 100% certain this is what happened, because this is an anomaly. And then once they were done with it, they just discarded the rest of the bones and stuff that they didn't want. And I bet you this shit was like so fast. They probably instantly, because the thing is all the meat, all the bones on the little tiny bit of meat that was on the bones, it was not just surgically taken off, like something like was able to separate flesh from bone, like just completely ripped the flesh from bone, even from inside of the little crevices of the bone. And then it was all done, you could tell, like quickly at the same time, because all the bones all had the same consistency of redness on them, that bright red. And that had to happen early in the morning, right before I got here, because it was early in the morning. So yeah, it's just not possible for that to be done by humans, because it's out of characteristic. And the thing is this, nobody's out here in Cambodia, out here in the middle of nowhere. Nobody's out here in the middle of nowhere trying to do some type of cow mutilation hoax. It just isn't going to happen. Nobody would do that. Nobody. Like, I'm serious. There's nothing to gain from trying to do some type of weird hoax. And who in the hell has the resources to take an entire cow and strip it? Okay, now if you're in America, we can say, oh, this is like a government trick. The Cambodian government isn't doing this. I guarantee you, the Cambodia isn't like trying to hoax something, because there's no camera crew out here or nothing. It's just me driving up here in the morning and seeing the damn thing sitting here. So yeah, that is a real live cow mutilation. Well, not live anymore, but it's a real thing. It really happened, and it had to pick him up. Now oh shoot, hit my horn on my bike. You can see the cows now. They're wandering away from the fence, but you could see the cows that are out here. They'll wander up towards the fence to graze. That cow was one of the cows I'm certain was picked up here. Now, if the cows were out there and the alien species that wanted to steal the cow, it would have dropped the bones out there. It wouldn't have dropped it here. It dropped the bones here because this is where the cows, you see early in the morning, the cows were all the way up here. Now they're making their way out, further out that way. So yeah, this is bizarre. It's not normal. It's not natural. And yeah, cow mutilation, it's a real thing. And it's the first time I've ever seen anything like that in my life.